Hey guys, Ryan Bidoff here, blogging from paradise. I want to find a decent angle where the sun's kind of hitting me. And just to talk about what two steps lead to your blogging success, can lead. Don't. All right, guys. It's a little bit better. Comfortable seat up here. See a little each side. Before we dive into today's video, live broadcast, that feels relaxing. Just a quick reminder, you can check out bloggingfromparadise.com, where I share tips to help you succeed as a blogger. I sell blogging courses and blogging ebooks to guide you on your journey. Well, that does feel good. Angle looks interesting too. And that is at the site bloggingfromparadise.com. And you'll find the courses if you click on the courses tab, and the ebooks if you scroll down to the bottom of my blog and click on the ebooks tab. All right, guys, there are two steps that can accelerate your blogging success if you're open to taking these steps. Now, you want to really think about your blogging campaign up to this point and consider, I'm going to switch it up, whether or not you've been, hold on a sec, dudes and dudettes, following these steps diligently. And the reason why I'm diving into this topic, guys, is because I see a lot of bloggers out there yearning to succeed, and I give them absolute credit for putting themselves out there and deciding to thrive through blogging. As the first step, by just saying, hey, I want to succeed, I want to drive traffic and increase my income. So that is a massive thumbs up, guys. Yet, I wanted to share these two tips to accelerate your success in a genuine way, and really to avoid lots of struggles and failure. Because I see a lot of bloggers making two common errors. So the two steps to accelerate your success are: number one, make sure you only ask professional bloggers for help, because they'll teach you how to succeed. So then you follow their advice and you position yourself to succeed. Of course, I jumped ahead when I said you follow their advice. Step one, ask professional bloggers for help. Meaning, go right to them and ask, how do I drive blog traffic? How do I start a blog? How do I make money blogging? So go right to them, guys. And the reason why you want to go right to them is because they know how to succeed, so they'll teach you how to succeed. Then step two, and we'll break these down more detail, but step two is develop an independent streak to the point, and here's the irony: number one, you're asking for her help. Number two, you're developing an independent streak to the point of following their advice by investing in their courses, investing in their ebooks, reading their blog posts, studying their blog posts, putting their advice into action, and succeeding. Very few bloggers do this. Very few ask a professional for advice. And the mistake I see coming up again and again, and it's why I wanted to discuss this topic in this video, is, for instance, on a lot of Facebook groups, bloggers ask me to guide them as if I would do everything for them, sit there and coach them for free for a half hour or for an hour or 2 hours, as if I would baby step them through the process myself. So if I'm on Facebook, a lot of new bloggers make the mistake of thinking that I'm going to sit there. I'm just being honest, guys. Like, you can't do this. You're making a mistake. You're not going to get this type of attention, support. You have to have an independent streak. You ask for advice, and then in almost every case, a professional blogger, unless they offer coaching services, will send you a course, an ebook, a blog post, maybe a series of blog posts. Then it is instantly, immediately up to you, on you, your responsibility to independently read the post, buy the course, buy the ebook, take the course, take the ebook, follow the guy, like take the course, read the ebook, then take that advice and act on it. That's 100% on you. You have to be independent. So few bloggers do this. A lot of bloggers ask me for help, and they think, and this just shows your mind's really not in the right place. It's coming from a place of confusion and scarcity and fear and loss and helplessness on some level. Now, I know it could be overwhelming, guys, but I'm just being honest so it won't be as overwhelming, and so you'll understand what it takes to be a pro. You have to be humble enough to ask for advice from a professional and independent enough to act on their advice. So you act on the blog post, you read it, you take notes, and you put them into action. That's on you. This is the only way you're going to succeed. No professional is going to do the work for you, and no professional, unless they offer coaching and consulting services, is going to sit there for a half hour or an hour or even 15 minutes, or none that I know of, to wait for you to have a discussion or conversation. Now, you might have free consults here and there, like that I do understand, but as you work your way up and advance in the blogosphere and go up the success ladder, you're going to figure out that most professionals, unless they're offering coaching and consulting services, they've built a passive income model, which means that they make money through things they've already created passively. So these individuals, if they're even answering or responding, which is awesome, to your questions, they'll point you towards a blog post. They're not going to sit there for 20 minutes because they're a high-level pro. They're doing things passively. They've built a passive business largely. So they won't sit there for 10 or 15 minutes to go back and mentor you and guide you themselves. This is really what I want to really get at, guys. They're not going to guide you or mentor you in their body, with their person, with their time for 10, 15, 20 minutes. You don't ask them for advice and expect to get all this textual information on Facebook. So they're not going to sit there for 20 minutes and write you a messenger message, or spend 15 or 20 minutes. And I write sometimes, decent responses that are a couple minutes at least. But nobody, as a professional blogger, they're not going to sit there and in their body, with their presence, coach you or mentor you. They're going to send you a blog post with all the steps to take that you have to read, and you have to study, and you have to put into action. So you read it, you study, you understand, and then you have to put the work into action in order to succeed. And by pointing, I'm not being accusatory. I'm just being straight with you guys, because it will help you so much when you understand this. Have to be humble enough to ask for help from professional bloggers, then independent enough to act on their advice through their blog posts and videos and courses, and to have the independence and the vision to invest money in their ebooks, to invest money in their courses. Because think of it from their perspective. They became pros by making sometimes very scary and uncomfortable choices. All of them had to do it to go pro. You never go pro in your comfort zone. So imagine if someone asks you a question and you're giving your time, attention, energy, love, experience, service to respond with a couple sentences, to send them a blog post, to send them a course, to send them an ebook. Then you're doing all those things to help them. And then a blogger just says, "Oh, I can't afford it," or, "Oh, I don't have any money for it. Or, oh, help me out. I tried that already. Or, oh, I didn't read the blog post. You see, guys, from a more worldly perspective, it's rude to get help and then to ignore it. Right? Like, you're getting the help from a professional. So you have to be humble enough to ask, which I give bloggers credit. But then you have to be tactful, respectful, truthful, and independent enough to act on their advice and to put it into action. Now, you may have more questions, but you have to sit down, read the post, and study it, and then begin putting it into action to prove that you're a serious blogger. Because think of it this way, from a professional blogger's perspective, if you don't have the time, energy, respect, tactfulness, mindfulness to actually read a blog post and to study it, to access their help and to start putting it into action, to start practicing it, why would a professional blogger give you any more time, attention, energy, answer the next question? You're already proving to them that you're not serious, and they're only dealing with serious people. You see, we're not enablers. You really have to step it up and make uncomfortable choices, because you have a split second to grab these people's attention spans. And a lot of them will happily help you with a link. They've already created the system. They're not going to sit there and coach you. You have to be independent enough. So it's to accelerate your blogging success, you have to be independent enough. You have to be humble enough to ask for help from professional bloggers. Then when they send you a course or an ebook or a blog post link or a video or a podcast, you have to be independent enough and hungry enough to work, meaning to actually be a student, to read the post, to buy the course, to buy the ebook, to read it, to listen to it, to take the course, and then to begin putting it into action. You have to work. You have to blog. Very few professionals, as you work your way up higher and higher in the blogosphere, trade their time for money. And trade, by that I mean they don't trade their And again, there's coaching and there's consulting. I get it. And there are free sessions, but very few will sit there and in their body, in their person, trade their time and give 5 or 10 or 15 minutes to a blogger who says, I want you to send me advice on Messenger, respond to my comments, hang out by your email inbox. It doesn't happen that way. They're going to send you a link, then you have to do the work. And I see a lot of bloggers struggle because they don't even want to read and they don't want to blog. I'm being truthful here, guys, because it will help you succeed. And you'll find that your success will accelerate quite beautifully when you're humble enough to ask only pros for advice and you're independent enough to act on the advice. No, it's just rare for a person to sit there, professional blogger, and to write the same answers again and again. It doesn't make any sense. It's not intelligent for us. That's why when people ask me how to start blogging, I'm not going to write the same. In the beginning, I started to do this before I started becoming, quote unquote, more worldly successful. And I would be rewriting all this content on Facebook or on Twitter about how to start a blog. And I wouldn't sit there for 15 minutes, but all the basics. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why don't I just write a blog post and send that to people? So I did that. So now when people ask me how to start a blog and they're like, can you mentor me? Can you be my guide? I go, sure thing. Read this and follow the advice. And I send them the link to the blog post on bloggingfromparadise.com, how to start a blog. So my job is done. And your job just begins. You see what I mean? Aha. My job is done. Your job just begins. It's an interesting concept, right, guys? My job's done and your job begins, because now you have to read it. Now it's your job to read it, to study it, and to begin taking my blogging advice for starting a blog in the blog post and put it into action. So now it's time to start publishing long form content. It's time to start engaging in genuine blogger outreach. Maybe you'll start commenting genuinely on blogs. Whatever the advice, that's the guidance, that's the mentoring. I'm not going to do it in my body. It's passive. You're going to get the same advice from my body in the blog post, except in the blog post, you have it right in front of you 24/7, 365. And I have a resource that I could give people and then step away and help the next person. This is how you scale, guys. And this is good to know as a blogger. When you start experiencing more success, you'll see the benefit of having systems in place at a base level, writing and publishing content based on frequently asked questions. So instead of spending all this time creating all this content on social media through messages or through email, you just go, oh, I could help you follow these tips. And you send them a blog post link. And you're done. Now, they may ask more questions, but it's up to you whether you want to answer them because you've already answered them in the blog post. It's up to them to take the responsibility to actually read it and to actually act on it. And it'll take posture for you as a blogger who wants to experience more success to say, hey, I already helped you. Now, of course, you could answer a question or two if they need a little clarity, but the clearer your posts are, the more steps you include, it's on them to read it. And then you just move on. And this is an important step to scaling. So guys, that's it for today. 15 minutes in, a little later today. I might do a little walking later. As a call to action, stop by bloggingfromparadise.com. Check out my blogging courses for guidance and my blogging ebooks as well. And I have a couple inspirational reads in there and one based on travel, right? So until next time, you know what to do, guys. See you later, Twitter. And I will see you later, YouTube. Enjoy Paradise.